This save scene has one ground, one patch, two structural holders, and one invisible starting marker. The real tree and F6 result match. No player yet is the correct result. With a disposable Chapter 1 checkpoint already verified and the game stopped, choose New Scene now. We will build the tree ourselves. Save it as res://scene/arena.tscn. Deliberately fix one wrong parent, and prove the result with run current scene. The disposable starting copy is the Chapter 1 moved and restored checkpoint in Godot, version 4.7. Before this build, we ran the existing playground, moved the blue player, and stopped. It remains the recovery route. An AI agent may inspect the save tree later, but it will not build or edit this scene. A Godot scene has one root. Children belong beneath it. An indentation records that ownership. Our arena root contains a visible ground. Ground contains the visible CenterPatch, and the remaining direct children organize or mark work that later lessons will add. Choose Other Node and search for Node 2. Node 2D is a useful route because it provides a transform for a 2D object and can organize 2D children in one scene tree. Rename the root Arena. Save immediately under the project relative scenes folder as arena.tscn. The file system should now show res://scene/arena.tscn. Saving early turns an unnamed tab into a recoverable project resource. Checkpoint 1 is intentionally small, one saved root named Arena. If your scene doc still says Node 2D, rename the row before adding anything else. Select Arena, add a color rect, and rename it Ground. A color rect is a simple visible control node. Here it is debug art with one job. Fill the arena so we can judge the scene before final artwork exists. In Layout and Transform, set ground position to 0, 0. Set its size to 960 by 540. Exact numbers are easier to repeat and recover than dragging handles. The dimension rail comes from the real rectangle you see in Godot. Choose a dark blue or violet that will leave bright players, wisps, and glow modes readable later. Color is your decision. The structural test is simply that ground is visible, opaque, and exactly fills the intended frame. For a controlled recovery example, deliberately select Arena and add a second color rect named CenterPatch. It lands directly beneath Arena. The patch may still look correct in the viewport, but the indentation shows the ownership is wrong. Visual appearance alone is not enough evidence. Move CenterPatch onto ground and confirm the move. The corrected row is indented one level deeper than ground. If the tree and the picture disagree, fix the tree first, save, and repeat the same run test. Set CenterPatch position to 350, 215 and size to 260 by 110. Those four values put a clear garden patch near the center without covering the whole arena. The patch now has both a visible result and a named owner. Choose a second dark color that is easy to distinguish from ground. Do not ask the AI to choose it. You are judging readability, and you can change this one presentation value after the structural test passes. The next nodes do not draw anything. Select Arena and add two direct Node 2 children. Name the first bounds and the second actors. They reserve clear homes for collision edges and live characters in later lessons. Bounds is empty today. In the next lesson it will own 4 collision edges. Keeping that future work under one named holder makes the tree easier to scan, collapse, test, and recover. Actors is also empty today. Later, players, enemies, and other changing objects can live here instead of mixing with the ground. Empty does not mean useless. The name records the intended responsibility. Select Arena, add a marker 2D, and name it PlayerStart. Set its position to 480, 270, the center of the 960 by 540 arena. The marker gives one safe place for a future player to begin. You can see PlayerStart's crosshair in the editor because Godot helps authors locate markers. The running game will not draw that crosshair. A marker stores a position. It is not a sprite, a player, or gameplay proof. Pressing Run Project, or F5, still opens the Chapter 1 playground because we have not changed the main scene. That is intentional. Stop it and keep the old playground as the recovery route. With arena.tscn active, choose Run Current Scene or press F6. Now Godot opens the arena you just built. This control answers a precise question. Does the scene in the current tab run as saved? The correct result is a dark 960 by 540 frame with one contrasting patch. No player moves, bounce and actors draw nothing, and PlayerStart remains invisible. Those are passes, not missing features. Stop, save, and read the scene doc from top to bottom. Arena owns ground, bounce, actors, and PlayerStart. Ground alone owns CenterPatch. The file system contains res://scene/arena.tscn, and no script changed. A bounded agent check may read only scenes/arena.tscn. List the root and children, and flag a wrong parent. It may not edit, create, rename, delete, or run anything. The sanitized read-only label beside the real tree is explanatory, not the Godot interface and not gameplay proof. Compare the answer with the real tree. If an explanation disagrees with Godot, trust the saved scene and the repeated run. The agent is useful for a second reading. It is not the acceptance test. Now change only the CenterPatch color. Save, and run F6 again. The tree stays the same while one visible presentation value changes. Keep the version that makes the garden center easiest to find. The second run shows the new color in the same place and size. Repeating the same test isolates what changed. CenterPatch owns that color, while the rest of the arena remains structurally identical. The finished receipt has 6 named nodes. 1 nested branch, 2 exact rectangles, 1 exact marker position, and 1 expected authored file addition. Scenes/arena.tscn, the existing playground and movement script remain unchanged. Next, we will turn this shell into a controlled space by naming input actions and building 4 physical edges. Today you created the ownership structure that keeps those additions understandable. This tutorial follows Chapter 2 of Make Your First Godot Game with an AI Agent. The companion book provides the exact click path, recovery checkpoint, figures, and tests behind this scene. The free starter and book links are below. Continue through the Godot version 4.7 beginner series here.